Who's on already? So we've got Olia in Poland. Welcome. Ida Marie's in Washington, D.C. Charmaine's on in Maine. Everybody's on. Oh, we're starting. Just to give you a heads up, Stephen in Australia won't be on today. He's not feeling well, so he wasn't going to stay up to be on. So get well, Stephen. All right. I am in a different spot today because since yesterday I have been perched here in front of the TV watching the Olympics. Are you guys into the Olympics? Are you watching? What's going on where you guys are right now? Today we have a beautiful day outside. It's going to be about 29 degrees. So in a minute, I'm going to get up and walk around outside a bit so you guys can see. Did you guys watch the opening ceremonies yesterday? They were pretty cool. Do you guys have a favorite thing if you watched? Hello, hello. Today I've watched swimming, diving, freestyle, fencing, a bit of street racing, skateboarding's coming up. So all sorts of events and sports I probably normally wouldn't watch. You kind of watch during the Olympics. What I like about watching it on CBC or the Canadian Broadcasting Company is that it focuses on all the athletes. It's not just on the Canadians that are participating. And when there are sports that are not taking place or they're not filming stuff, they have interesting stories about athletes from around the world and their successes and failures and what they've had to overcome to get there. So it's really cool how they put things together. They also have something called CBC Gem. It's an app you can download. So even if they're not televising the sport maybe you want to watch, you can go onto the app and you can see any sport that's happening at the time. So, and that's free to download. Yes, it was kind of nice to have Celine Dion right at the end, a little bit of Canadiana at the end of the when the cauldron was lit. Welcome, Media from Finland. She's at a football stadium today. 12 or 24 degrees Celsius in Helsinki. All right, enjoy your match. And if you can hear the concert next door, that'd be cool too. Coldplay is playing in the Olympic Stadium in Helsinki today. And it was really neat to see how the opening ceremony was done so completely different than any other place. It wasn't in a stadium, it was open in the whole city. They used the whole city as a backdrop for the history of the country and the games and to promote women in sports. They did a really good job. The Canadians with their Lululemon outfits, all waving the Canadian flag and all their red. I think there were 4 countries on the boat with us: Chile and China and Canada. I can't remember the other one. There was a little one right at the start of the boat, too, like with about 7 or 8 athletes on it. Just letting people get here, and then we'll go outside and have a walk around. You can see what's different in the yard. Maybe you have your eagle eyes and you can tell what is different right off the bat. Yeah, I like the idea of having multiple countries on a boat. That kind of brings the unity of the 206 countries that were represented there to be together. Now, it was funny seeing the groups that only had like a couple individuals and they were on a little boat all by themselves and they were kind of bobbing around in the waves of the bigger boats. Hopefully, nobody got seasick. But the rain didn't deter people. Everybody seemed to be having fun and dancing, and it was just a neat show. 77 degrees Fahrenheit in Maine today. Okay. It's probably very similar to what it is here. Temperature still will rise on where we are. All right, I'm gonna move so I'm not watching the television. I'm focusing on you guys. I'll let you know exactly what it is here. It's 21 degrees Celsius right now outside, but like I said, it's gonna go up. So let's flip the camera around. You can see we've entered the backyard. It's nice and warm. I'm gonna get to having one of these bonfires soon. It's really nice. Every day after work, I've been coming out here and enjoying all the raspberries that are growing here. You can see there's still a plenty of them here, and it goes all down the side. There are a few, some not so great looking leaves on this right now, so something's getting into this, but there are some plums that are starting. I was out this morning, so there's not as many here, but I was eating the raspberries. There's a few there that are in good shape and ready to eat. Nice flower popping up here. These raspberries are almost all gone. These are some of my favorite. Have you ever had yellow raspberries before? They are really good. Really, really good. Those and the purple ones are really nice. All right, so I've come and I've pruned a bit here. We'll walk down this side. We're gonna have to disrupt this spider that was in the way. And there's another one. You can see, I was just in here yesterday. But looking straight ahead, you may know or notice what is gone. So here stood my son's basketball net. Yeah, it was a big part. The people that lived here 18 years ago that we bought the house with, they put it in, so it's been here a long time. And when I brought it down, my neighbor across the street said that's the last of the ones from the neighborhood to come down. So yeah, it's a sad day to have the basketball net come down. I tried to have this weed pulled out, but it is stronger than what was here with the concrete. It's a beautiful day. We'll go for a little bit of a walk. Hopefully my connection will stay. If it doesn't, if it starts getting spotty, we'll head back again. But I thought maybe you want to have a little bit of wander. And it gets me out of the house, not watching the Olympics as well right now. I am having a great time watching and seeing all. In the first round, the round of 32, he had to go up against the Hungarian, who was the three-time gold medal winner in it, and they beat him. And then he faced a top-notch Frenchman in the next round and beat him, and then went right to the end against the third-ranked from Korea, but lost. So that was the end of his run, but he did really good. Are you still hearing me? Still seeing me? Well, not seeing me, you're seeing the neighborhood and the flowers that are around. Okay, still hear me. Thanks, Charmaine, for answering. I've had a few responses come in on my question of the month of what is your favorite smell. So thank you to all those that have participated. And if it hasn't arrived yet, hopefully it will arrive this week, because next week will be the first Saturday of the month. So I'll read off those responses. We'll come up with a new question for the month of August. And the first Saturday of September might be tricky though, because I might be away. So we're gonna have a few things we'll have to juggle around that time, but we'll deal with it when it happens. You can see we've got a few clouds in the sky, but nothing menacing. We shouldn't have any rain. Item Maurice is a torch-shaped hot air balloon. A salute to the airmail. Well, it could be a salute to the airmail. It was definitely a salute to the Olympics back in 1924. I'm gonna step out here onto the road because this guy's got his sprinkler going, so I don't really want to get wet. But you can see he's getting his lawn all done up. This gentleman always parks in the opposite direction on the road. I'm not sure why. where are we going now? We're actually just walking through my neighborhood, Olia. So there's a construction site. They're building a seniors complex that they keep developing. So I thought we'd go up just into that area for right now. We won't go too far, but just you can see around the neighborhood. My wife and I go for a walk in here every day if the weather is in good shape anyways, not too pouring rain. And we've been very lucky this summer. It's been really beautiful most of the summer. Not a lot of rain. Yesterday, if you tuned into my video, you will saw it rained when I was filming what postcards I received during the week. It's okay, somebody can write. I can't type it in, but if you guys want to type that I'm walking in my neighborhood, go for it to help Olia. We're going to turn up this way. And what we're looking at is that's the new seniors complex that just opened last September, and this is the even newer one that they're in the process of building, so they're going to expand this. It's a full care home for people that need a little bit of extra help in nursing when you get a little bit older. Thank you, Charmaine, for typing that out. Now, one of the sad things, this used to all be woods. So they took down all the trees in this area and all the trees out there to build what they've been building. And then they've cleared, you can see there's trees here, but that only goes about 4 or 5 feet deep. And then all the trees have been cleared in there too. So let's wander down to the end of this road. You can put me in the shot if you like. There, we'll just wander down to the end of this road. You're still getting a signal, which is great. And then we'll show you what they've been doing down there. So I had a pretty good week. It was busy. I found every day I was doing extra things. I'm thinking more and more about my time away and trying to plan for that. Maybe overthinking it somewhat because I've never been on a cruise before, so I'm not sure what to expect. So I'm asking anybody else who's been on one what I should be preparing with. A lot of clearings happening where you live too, so there's lots of development happening there. I'm not sure. I'm gonna flip this around so you can actually see. You see through. I don't really get a general. It's not great here. You can see at the end of this road where they've just cleared all the trees. I can see some water still back in there. You can hear the crickets. Very quiet. Prepare for a lot of food. Well, that's why I'm doing all this walking and trying to slim up a little bit, because I've seen the buffets that are on these ships and it looks fantastic. So I do want to get my money's worth. No, I don't want to be a glutton, but I am going to try a bunch of the different desserts while I'm on there for sure. And if the food is great, I'm going to enjoy it. And we're going to be doing lots of walking, I suspect, as well. So I'm hoping we're going to burn off some of the calories. I'm not the sort of person that's going to spend a lot of time in the gym on vacation, because I don't spend a lot of gym in my regular life. So here you can see, this is kind of where the road has stopped so far, but you can see there's machines off in the distance. You can zoom in there, and you can see they've taken all the trees out for a very long distance. Originally, they talked about this area was going to be some small houses, like along here. You would have small houses that seniors could live in when they don't necessarily need a lot of extra help, but wanted to downsize from a bigger home. They could live here, and then there might be a smaller stage nursing facility when people need a little bit more care but are still relatively independent. That's what they were going to build. I don't know if that's the case anymore. I have a feeling all of the land back here will be for apartment buildings and maybe single family homes. We'll see. All right, let's turn it around so you can see me again. But it is very peaceful right now. There's no construction on the weekend, so not hearing any buildings being worked on. You can hear the birds in the background. I'm hoping this isn't making you guys sick as we're wandering around. I just wanted to give you a different perspective. Rather than me just sitting in the office all the time talking to you, I thought maybe you'd like to see a bit of the neighborhood. I hear maybe a woodpecker or a chipmunk in the woods. Maybe you can hear it too. Yeah, so when it comes to the cruise, I'm prepared to eat. That's not a problem. I do have to go find a new bathing suit for the pools and all the stuff that happened to be there. Maybe some new pairs of shorts as well to wander with. I don't want to spend a lot of money, but we do want to be prepared, especially if it's going to be crazy hot all the time. If it's going to be mid to high 30s while we're there, I want to be dressed appropriately with clothes that actually breathe. Let's just wander down this section just for a second, and then we'll head back towards the house. That sounds all right. I can show you. You guys have got to do some more talking so I can feed off what you're saying. So this whole section is what they wanted to build, or have told us they're planning on building. It was a whole campus of these buildings for seniors. So right now they've got two big buildings, but it looks like they've dug up in this area. It looks like they're digging another hole, maybe to start another foundation for a new building. And here you can see they've put in driveways where they might have single family homes in the future, but they haven't done any sort of more development in that way. But we're having a very beautiful Saturday so far. Our plans for today are very fluid. We still have to go get some groceries and do some shopping that way to fill the cupboards again. But we haven't made any plans to do anything else. No festivals, no shows that are going on. There have been a whole lot of car shows that are around, and I thought about going to visit one or two of them, but I don't think I'm going to get out to it. Well, that's awesome that Charmaine and Olia are going to meet when she's there in Poland. You're very fortunate. You're going to have a good time. It's going to be a fantastic trip for you, Charmaine. There, and you're going to do a video about it too, Olia? That's cool. So there we have the construction area. Everything's nice and quiet right now. And here you can see where they've cleared all the way through, so all the trees are gone. Yes, you must capture that moment of you guys meeting up. You guys have become fast friends, so that's fantastic. And for you guys to have the opportunity to actually meet in person is going to be a lot of fun for you. That's turned into a real birthday surprise for you, Charmaine. Olia, you'll have to prepare some special music for the occasion to go over the video. So here we're gonna head back towards the house now. We've had a good 20 minutes out wandering around a little bit. I won't go back and sit in front of the TV though where the Olympics are. We'll go back to the office and sit there. I can hear some people doing some yard work. I got a little bit of that done this week. I do have to go and mow the lawn and that sort of stuff. So it's on my to-do list. Thank you. I know you guys enjoy seeing some of the scenery and not just looking at me doing stuff. So I want to try to make it a little bit different. And, you know, every Saturday we do these videos. So I want to make it worth tuning in to see what else we can talk about and what we can do. Of course, there's a little bit of an Olympic spin to today's video because of them being on right now for the next couple of weeks. It's nice that you'll make an exception and the two of you might go on an adventure depending on how much time you have together. Let's go up on the sidewalk rather than me walking on the road. Thank you. I try to take you out on some adventures whenever I can go do these remotes, as you call them. So I like to show off what's around me to encourage people maybe to come visit it in person. And sometimes my neighborhood probably won't look like the neighborhoods where you guys live in. Maybe you're in an apartment building. Maybe you live in an old part of an ancient European city. Of course, it's going to look very different than walking around in a North American neighborhood. I think for the most part, Canadian neighborhoods and American neighborhoods are very similar when you get into these smaller cities. What do you say there? And the mail in Canada takes longer than to the US. It became clear from the postcards that I sent from one place at one time. It's a shame, but yeah, probably does. You're probably getting more mail from Charmaine quicker than you are getting it from me. I know when Charmaine and I, even though we are neighbors geography, in geography, excuse me, New Brunswick and Maine border each other, it takes a ridiculously long time for us to get mail back and forth. Well, Charmaine, sometimes I've received your messages, but you ask me not to tell you whether or not I've received them until you see them yourself on videos. So I've stuck to that. So you tune in on Friday, you see whether or not the mail has arrived. And same thing will happen on the 1st of the month when you respond to my questions. If that changes, let me know. If you'd rather me tell you when I get mail from you, I can do that too. All right, we're walking back down this way. Yeah, sometimes when I get mail from you folks, I can't remember who's asked me not to tell them and who has, so I do apologize if I tell you I've received something and it ruined the surprise because you'd rather see it in the video. I do my best, but sometimes I forget. We had a sad event happen. It's sad for us because they've been such good neighbors, but a for sale sign went up across the street at one of our really good neighbors, and so we're going to be sad to lose them from the neighborhood. But I know they're moving off and being closer to other family and what works best for them. But they've been here almost as long as we have, and so we've really appreciated having good neighbors around. And the housing market here is going crazy. I don't know what's happened, but real estate flies out quickly and people are moving in from all over the place. Moncton's one of the fastest growing cities in the country right now, which pushes up housing prices, and it also puts up construction because there's so much construction going on of new apartment buildings, new houses everywhere. Maybe it's my videos that are bringing people in, who knows? Well, on this July 27th is not a bad day to be out doing stuff. You went to Brunswick, Maine today? Okay. A little bit different. And what did you do in Brunswick today? There's Shiloh. Shiloh is a dog across the street, sitting on his mat. Hey, Shiloh. Oh, you took your neighbor to work. Okay. Wasn't too far of a drive for you then. But here's what I was talking about. There's the for sale sign. So if you want to be my neighbor, there it is. And just like that, we are back home again. So we'll go set up in the office and see what's going on with you guys. Oh, I'm glad we didn't lose the feed. The feed stayed the whole time. That was a good test. I'm gonna set this up here. Give me a moment. Set that up. Yeah, we're back. Just update the computer here in the background. So what do people have planned today? I'm gonna lower that down. That looks a little bit better. Oh, I can tell you that the channel now has surpassed 1,700 subscribers. So thank you very much to everybody out there who's been subscribing and liking and commenting and sharing with other people and getting the word out about that dad guy. I really appreciate it. Nice to see it continuing to grow. Oh, I have an Olympic, speaking of subscribers in YouTube, I have a story about watching the Olympics last night. I was watching the opening ceremonies, and I happened to be messaging with Caroline, who's in France, and she was watching the opening ceremonies as well, and we were talking about how well we liked it and all the different parts. And it got to a point, I don't know if you were watching it, but there's a point where they lift a cloche, so one of those domes that would cover a platter of food lifted off, and there's a naked blue man underneath. And in Canada, on the Canadian broadcasting television, you got to see him just for a second before it went to commercial. But apparently in France, when Carolyn said she was watching it, he was fully naked, and he actually stands up from the platter. And I've since seen the clip of him standing up on TikTok. So yeah, a little bit different, but I can see why in Canada, because of the time that it was airing, they went to commercial. We are a bit more conservative than you are in Europe, so we have to cut some things out or don't show some things. Time when kids might be awake and watching. Whether you find it's right or wrong, that's up to you. But that's what happened here, and we had a good laugh at it because Caroline was telling me what was happening, and I said I just went to commercial. I missed it. Ida Marie says that she's having a quiet weekend. Charmaine says she should go for a ride. Yeah, it's a good day to go exploring and doing something. Going for a walk in the woods or going to the beach. Yeah, get out and enjoy the weather if you have nice weather where you are. I'm hoping that if we don't do it today, because we're going to do some errands and things like that, that we do something tomorrow. That's what I would like. Last week I was lucky enough that my sister had a couple extra tickets for a cruise that they were doing in St. John, so I was able to film that and show you guys that. I don't have any plans for that this weekend. Next weekend here is a long weekend in Canada, or in New Brunswick, because it's New Brunswick Day on the Monday. So it will be a long weekend. That'll be nice. Who else is on today? I can see 4 likes, 9 people are on. Some people are probably watching on their televisions or their tablets or something or other. But if you're on and you can respond, I'd love to see a comment from you, or a thumbs up, or a heart, or something or other. Let me know. Julia says this week on Wednesday she received 10 postcards with 1 envelope. That's a lot in one day. That's fantastic. And she gets a postman that comes every day. That's nice. We only have mail Monday to Friday here. Good morning, Christopher. Welcome. Thank you for commenting. Mandy has given an update of the football game she's at, so they're up 2-0. Thanks for joining back in and giving us the update. It'd be interesting to hear whether you can hear the music from 300 meters away. It's pretty close that the two stadiums are that. Now, were both stadiums built for the Olympics, if you're still on media? Anna Marie's on, yes, thank you. Olia's on. A few people have dropped off since I've asked to see whether you can comment to see whether you're on or not. Did you guys get a chance to watch Snail Mail with Smokey's latest video? He went to a stamp show, his first stamp show, and his first post-crossing meetup was at the same time. So if you get a chance, go check that out. It's always nice to see. Charmaine is out to lunch or out for lunch, because they mean something completely different. We've got to get groceries so I can actually eat something. Our cupboards are pretty bare here. I've been trying to keep it very minimalist when we go and buy things, because I don't want there to be a lot of waste. I've been trying to clean things up a bit, and we're finding old stuff laying around that was like, why do we still have that? Maybe like a salad dressing in the fridge that expired a couple years ago. So yeah, lately I'm just trying to be buy the things that we think we're going to eat during the week, prepare the meals, or prepare a schedule in my mind of what meals I'll make, and then just buy what I need for that. Where in the past we used to just buy and fill the fridge and then make up stuff. Welcome, Joe. Nice to see you on. The other day, Ari came home from work and he had a bit of a rash on his toes from working in steel-toed boots in this hot heat, and I was looking for some baby powder or some Vaseline or something. I said, oh, found some Vaseline. It expired, or it had an expiry date, whether it was expired or not, but it expired 14 years ago. It must have been something we bought when the kids were really little. So in the garbage that went. So as I see clutter around me and I'm trying to tackle it whenever I can, I've been doing less social media as far as chatting and messages and things like that, and trying to work on some of these little projects instead. I find that we're throwing things out that it's like, why am I saving this? It was nice to have received and I got a benefit from it, but I probably won't use it again, so why do we still have it? And I don't mean that in a wasteful way. I have paper that comes in here that I have, I've got stamps that are on paper. They need to be soaked off. It's something I need to do. So I've been soaking some stamps and sorting stamps and organizing a little bit. There's still chaos everywhere, but it's going to take a long time. Now I'm hoping during my vacation period, part of that, yes, we'll be away, but I'm taking 3 weeks in a row. So there will be some time where I'll be back here at the house and just on vacation, which will be nice. So I continue to try to tackle some of these projects. What are you missing, Joe? Well, you have to go back and be part of the replay crew and catch up on the first half hour that you missed. We did go for a walk. We talked about the Olympics. Yeah, a couple different topics there. But glad you've joined now. It's been nice seeing some of your Instagram posts. You've been doing some cool things. Got some Olympic stamps coming. Nice. I've been trying to be good and not spend a lot of money. There are so many things out there that's like, oh, I wish I'd had that, or I wish I could do this, or I want to talk about that in a future video if I could only get. So, yeah, I get quite expensive. It gets expensive. That's why I've been trying to hold off on doing anything. I've refrained from buying any Lego lately, which is good. I've got lots in boxes that I haven't made. So I'm trying to put a moratorium on that too. There becomes a point where you say, is there too much? Oh, welcome, Winston. Welcome back. One thing I want to talk to you guys about, maybe you know, as you know, Canada and the United States can't send mail to Russia and Belarus at this moment because of the war in Ukraine. But I have heard in the US, I haven't heard it from Canada yet, but if you write on the envelope that's heading to one of those countries and you write via Germany, that it will get mailed to Germany and Germany will forward it on to Russia or Belarus. Have you guys heard that before? Yeah, 3 weeks vacation, very lucky. I've been saving it up, which the downside is I've gone a long time without having a vacation. Now, I did go to Prince Edward Island. That was for work, though, but I turned it into a bit of a vacation when I was there. Charmaine hasn't heard of that yet in the US. I have 2 letters that have been sitting here on my desk with, I guess I can show you this. So there's the name of the person, but they've got a return to sender. So these will be able to be mailed off again in the future, but I can't mail them directly right now. I would love to be able to write via Germany on these 2 letters and have them get to their destinations if it worked. Yeah, those US D&D stamps look really cool. The British D&D stamps that have just come out, I believe, they're also really cool. So it's also neat that both countries are putting out D&D stamps, Dungeons and Dragons stamps this year. Ida Maurice, this is new to her, through Germany for mailing letters to blocked countries. I don't know how Germany makes money off of that, though, because we pay the postage in Canada or the US, and then they go to Germany, and then Germany has to redirect them on at no cost or no value to them. New postage stamps with US postage stamps with daffodils. I don't know if I've seen them or not. Oh, Winston just got the British D&D set. Cool. Yeah, all the images I've seen online, they look really nice. Charmaine's ordered some fall stamps. I've ordered a bunch of washi tapes that has arrived. So I showed you that in a recent video. So on my cards this weekend, I'll be able to use some of those new washi tape rolls. It wasn't as big of a week for mail for me, but I still have quite a few people that I can write back to. Yeah, go to the Royal Mail website and you can see the new British ones. Especially if you're collecting the US ones, it'd be a nice match to go the 2 of them together. Joe's looking to know how many how many countries have issued Olympic stamps. He thinks 30 so far. I have no idea. I know Media has been kind enough to send me the Estonian one. I just got that this past week. And I've received a few of the French ones. So those have been nice to get. Ida Marie's going to the fall first day ceremony for the autumn stamps. Cool. You probably have lots of opportunities in Washington, D.C. to get those first day covers. There's probably a lot of them that are done right there. Being the capital and all, I would imagine. Got my Yankee shirt on today, but they have not been doing well for the last month. They got out of the gate strong great in baseball. First team to 50 wins, and then they have been on a losing slide for a very long time now. What do I consider the best looking stamps that I've seen? Oh, that's a tough question. There are so many different variations to that, whether it's the uniqueness of the size, the shape, the theme, the colors, or the non-colors, because I really like the old plate block stamps that came out in, say, the 20s and 30s of most countries. But if you watch that video I did with Kyler and him showing his collection in Prince Edward Island, the Bhutan stamps that have come out that were all textured. There was art ones that you could feel the texture in those stamps, or the ones that were 3D of the Winston Churchill. Really cool stamps. It's hard to pick what I would consider the best looking of them all. But those are some of the factors that I go into to see. You like the Canadian Blue Nose? Yeah, it's a great stamp. It also falls into that category of those, 20s and 30s and the early plate block prints. But now you have, I mean, just looking at stamps like this, isn't that a beautiful stamp? Who knows? Or, the platinum one of the Queen. Nice. Very modern stamps. How many first day stamp ceremonies have you been to, Ida Marie? Anybody else have a favorite stamp or a favorite theme? You're collecting all the new Charles III UK and some stunning issues. So anything that has his image on it, so all the new stamps that have his profile in the corner, are just ones that have his picture on them. Like, let's see, I think I still have one. There's the Canadian Charles III. That's the only one so far that we have that has his image on it. Ida Marie's been to a whole bunch before the pandemic of first day issue ceremonies. That's cool. Christopher collects Indians and buffaloes. Just the ones with his profile. So anything that has come out since he's been king then. Okay. Well, that's every stamp that comes out in the UK. As a new stamp collector, not me, but as a new stamp collector or someone getting into the stamp, that is a great way to look at it. That, okay, you maybe don't have everything or haven't gotten into everything that came out before you were into it, but if you're starting with Charles III, in order to get everyone with his profile in the UK, you don't have to go back that far, and they're not rare yet, so you can start a nice collection, and if you want to do them all in mint, you can. Ida Marie's favorite stamp is the army going through the Arc de Triomphe in Paris. So that probably was a liberation stamp. It's a US stamp that came out. Yeah, any idea we can to get new collectors into the hobby, that's a great way to look at it. We have a place here in town called the Coin Cabinet. It also did stamps or does stamps. It's mostly a coin place by the name, but the person that started was a principal of my elementary school, and he was a big person in the coin world here in Moncton, at least, or in New Brunswick. And he just recently passed away at the age of 82. So he made a big impact on the city with collectors. Joe, I saw that. And the way that you position your fingers on it too, kind of like you're holding the magnifying glass. Yeah, it was a really nice post. It was a brown postage stamp in the U.S. I wonder if I have. I don't have my catalogs back there, so I won't go searching for it. But I'm sure if you Google it, you can find anyone who was interested in the stamps that Ida Marie's talking about. I'll try to bring it up in the background if I can find it quickly here. I'm going to move this to have access to my keyboard. And let's see. You guys talk amongst yourselves. And pretty easy to find when you do that. So let's flip that around. There's your brown stamp. There's the military going through the Arc de Triomphe. 3-cent stamp. A nice looking stamp. There. The joys of the internet. Charmaine says she has a whole page of US stamps that are worth 37 cents each. Don't know what year they were issued. So you just go back to the year that postage rate in the US was 37 cents. Yeah, the new Red Arrow stamps that have just come out in the UK or came out in the last month. Really nice stamps. There are a bunch of Pokemon stamps that are out there, so if you want to collect that series, you certainly can. The Pokemon ones, if you go to Japan, all the characters are on the stamps. You go back for quite a ways. It's a big community that collects Pokemon cards and plays the video games and does that sort of. So to get them involved in collecting the stamps too would be interesting. Ida Marie says it's on her tour at the Postal Museum. So they have a copy of this stamp. Is that what? Lost me there, sorry. Well, welcome from Poland. So not only are you on from Poland, but Olia is also on from Poland. So we've got two. And Charmaine's going to Poland in the fall. So nice Polish connection there. Hope everything's going well. Yeah, Pokemon collecting. There are some serious collectors for those Pokemon cards. I know my son had a bunch for a long time, and then he just sold off all the tins in one fell swoop. I can't remember how much he sold it for, but it wasn't certainly as much as we put into it buying them over the years. There you go. Glad to hear everything's fine in your part of Poland. Are you watching the Olympics and cheering on your athletes? Watching a dog walk by. Glad that you could join the live today. We've just been talking a bit about stamps, about new things that have come out. I don't know if you're a stamp collector or if you're just joining to see what's going on here. We don't always talk about stamps, but it does seem to come up quite frequently because there are a lot of people that do collect them that watch my channel. I was talking about car shows. There is Polish volleyball teams playing now. Okay. I'm away from the TV, so I can't see what events are happening at the moment. Well, good luck to your athletes. What was I talking about? I don't know. That's the downside. I sold a watch to get a penny black stamp. Very nice. Well, it's good to have one in your collection. Always nice to have the very first stamp. I added one to my father's collection. He didn't have one at the time, so it was nice that I could add one in. Back when I did a video about one. Yeah, my train of thought, I just lost it. I was talking about something and then I've answered a message and I can't remember what I was talking about. You guys can remind me if you wanted to know the end of that story. And if you're new to the channel and you like what you see, make sure you subscribe. I'm going to keep pushing that. We want to keep seeing the channel growing and getting to new heights. What is my favorite theme or country to collect? I don't generally collect by theme or country. I collect the world because that's what my father collected, so filling in some spaces is nice. I do like having a complete or as complete collection as I can of Canada and Canadian provinces. So that's probably the biggest of the collection there. We have a pretty big British collection to a point. And then when my father's ability to get stamps or collect them anymore kind of falls off in the last 15, 20 years. So it's not as complete as I'd like to see it. Pretty decent American collection now too. At one point I didn't think it was as good, but I've had some lot wins at auctions and picked up some pretty good amount of stamps in there too, so it's just a matter of getting the proper new binders to put them in. And you're asking if I have a favorite stamp or stamp series. I mentioned it a little bit before, maybe you weren't on at that point, but the prints from like the 10s, the 20s, the 30s, 1900s we're talking about, really like the plate series from that period. As far as postcards, favorite postcards. I certainly get lots of hedgehog postcards because of our pet polo. So those are really neat to get. The Thousand Shen postcards are always beautiful when they arrive. Blue cat cards are really nice too. I enjoy the humorous ones. So you don't always get people that like that, but I do like ones that make me laugh. You like German stamps? Yeah, there's a lot of great looking German stamps that have come out recently too. That's the hard thing. Japanese stamps, amazing. You like Nazi Germany stamps? Okay, well that's a collection, anyways. There's certainly a history there, and hopefully they're not making any more of them, so that's good. But yeah, Japanese stamps I was talking about, they make some really cool stamps. They go out of the box. And we've recently learned watching Kyler's collection that Bhutan makes some really amazing stamps. I like countries that are willing to think outside the box. Winston collects Liechtenstein stamps. Okay. The idea of collecting countries too, I mean, Liechtenstein not one of them, of course, but countries that did exist but don't exist anymore. So having stamps that are a finite amount that you probably can collect the whole series is a great idea. Kyler touched on that as well, that to know that a country only put out 100 stamps or whatever it might be, that you try to get all of those. Item really likes Japanese stamps as well. Yeah, they put out a lot of stamps though. So if you're collecting Japan, expect to collect a lot because they, in a course of 1 year, they put out an amazing amount of stamps. And they're great at continuing themes. They're really good at different shape stamps too. They don't all have to be rectangles or squares. Coins, I'm not a collector. I was when I was younger. I collected Canadian coins, but it was an expensive hobby, and life got in the way and family got in. I sold a lot of my collection off already to pay bills, and not much remains of it anymore. I like collecting paper money at the time too, but just Canadian. I never went international with my collection. But I know a lot of post crossers. If you read their profile, they say that they love to get, bills or coins from different countries around the world. There are a lot of people that do collect coins and money. The only money I want to collect is the ones that are going in my bank account now, and it doesn't seem to stay in there long. Yeah, Russian stamps can be fantastic. They put a lot of work into the art stamps that they put out. Winston just picked up a book about old stamp album, Exotic Tales of Lost Countries by Stuart Laycock and Chris West. All right, haven't heard of that. Let's see if I can find it on the web. Shall we? 37 cent stamps were issued 2002. All right, Charmaine, you found your way to your answer. Oh, and just to let you know, the stamp that Ida Marie was talking about that I showed you came out in 1945, if you're actually looking for that one. I think it's Scott number 934. All right, now we're looking for Stuart Laycock. You can buy it on Amazon. Yep, there it is. Just waiting for it to load here. Ta-da! There is your book. So anyone who wants to check that out, $29.99. I almost made a mistake. I went to flip the camera around and almost X'd out the live. So we almost ended the live stream right there. But we are coming up on an hour, so we probably are going to be wrapping this up now too. One, I got to get back and watch some Olympics, but two, we got to get out and do some things on this beautiful day. And I know some of you are just starting your day, and others you've already made it through your afternoon and are probably starting to think about your supper, your dinner, whatever you want to call it, and getting into your evening. So I do appreciate everybody coming on, taking this hour that we usually have together and just chit chat and ask questions about a variety of different things. Sometimes it's about stamps, but sometimes we talk about all sorts of different things. For those of you that have sent in your response to my question of the month, which was, what is your favorite smell and why? Next Saturday will be the first Saturday in August, so we're going to be reading those off at this live stream, and so you'll get a chance to see what people's favorite smells are and why. I do have a few responses in on that. This Thursday coming up is August the 1st, so we're going to have a new stamp of the month come out, which means there'll be a new giveaway coming out again, so that's something to look forward to, hopefully for you guys to tune in and talk about. There'll probably be another stamp versus stamp with Smokey. We haven't talked about it yet, but that's something we need to do soon to get that video underway. yeah, so all sorts of things to look forward to. Tomorrow I will be writing and decorating a few postcards, so if you're interested in that, you can tune in to watch that too. All right, you guys, thanks so much for joining me once again. And if you're part of the replay crew, thanks for tuning in later on and watching all the way to the end of this as well. You guys, have a magical week.